Welcome on into the Wild Willie Podcast Show. I'm Willie Colon, and he is
JJ, baby. What's been going on with you, Big Willie?
All is well, JJ. How are you? I know it's steamy down in Mississippi, so I know you guys are surviving the heat. Summer is still here, folks. I know a lot of people are trying to push summer away. I know school has started for most of the South in New York, in the northern region, New York, New Jersey, where I'm at. School is still, well, it hasn't started. So a lot of kids are still enjoying summer. So I'm going to enjoy my summer with the kids who aren't in school right now, because in a couple of weeks, that won't be reality. My kid, my son 4, is getting ready for his first year kindergarten. Super excited. Hopefully we don't have a repeater. That's why I said first year. And nevertheless, my daughter Holly is moving on to pre-K. Back to school is an interesting time of the year because it's now turns into a full-fledged holiday, JJ, where the parents are, I guess in suburbia, are after they drop the kids off, some are crying and like, oh my God, they're growing up right before my eyes. Others are celebrating it and joining local watering holes to have a cocktail too, as a kind of a start of the race, start of the season. I don't know if that's a culture for you down in Mississippi, JJ, but up here, the suburban moms are hitting up the local bars and saying, hey, while the kids are in school, let's go have an afternoon martini, which I'm for. I'm not a drinker no longer, but I do support the parents coming together and saying, hey, let's go have a one or two to celebrate the school year. Do you agree with that, JJ? And does that happen down in Mississippi?
Yeah, Big Willie. You know, I used to work at a country club, Big Willie, and one of the things they love to do, Big Willie, I don't know if y'all do it up there, but they love to come to the country club. I remember when I used to work at the country club, and they'd get together and come there and just socialize and just have them women time where they got done and just have time to themselves. They be in there playing bridge. You know anything about bridge, Big Willie?
No, I've never played bridge. I think they played it on fried green tomatoes. I know it's a Southern thing.
Yes, and when I tell you, oh my goodness, they have got done at their breakfast. They'll be in there playing bridge with the doors closed. Then they come in with brunch. Then they go back to playing bridge. And all while they playing bridge, Big Willie, they got some got done good old drinks going along with it now. So I'm just letting you know, it's a bridge thing, but it's also got done a sipping thing too. Got done, and they be enjoying themselves, just having their time out, and they out by time the kids get out of school so they can be at the bus stop or the car pickup spot so they can get down and pick up where they left off at.
So, JJ, for a father of 3, did you have a routine this time of year? Because I know for me, growing up, my dad, once he got that check, he knew it was out the window, especially around this time. So we would dedicate 4 days to preparing me for school, between shoes, and I went to Catholic school, so I always had a uniform. But for school supplies and athletic gear. So my dad would buy school shoes, a pair of gym shoes, and pants and stuff like that for us to kind of throw on. Nevertheless, I know he hated it. Like he was like, I could tell like he was like, I got these big ass boys, I got to close feed and to make sure they send them on their merry way. So he never took that process with a smile. He always kind of just handed the card over to my mom, was like, just get the boys what they need. Let's get this over with. Did you have a routine?
Big Willie, let me tell you something. When it was time for school got done, and believe me, a lot of kids got it made right now. Now, I don't know about up there, but right now, a lot of them wear uniforms. So back in when my children was coming up, when they was going to public schools, they didn't have uniforms. Public school have uniforms now. So that means we had to buy outfits. So you talking about looking in between 7 and 10 outfits for all 3 girls, each. That ain't including the shoes and stuff that they want, because, girls, Big Willie, they want to be got done at first day of school. Guys too, but for some reason, I think them girls got done clothes a little more expensive. I don't know, Big Willie. I can be lying because I didn't have a boy, but god dang, Big Willie, by the time I got done and went and bought all them darn outfits and school stuff that needed, pencil, paper, folders, and all that goddamn stuff, Big Willie, that's cost sufficient. I'm gonna be honest with you.
What's crazy, and that's one of the reasons I do like uniforms in schools, because it takes the pressure off the parents, right? Like you just got to get 2 or 3 pair of good pants. They're going to have a shirt that they're going to wear. So I'm talking about boys in particular. Girls are different because you got to get stockings and pantyhose and all that other stuff. So that's a different dog. But I do like the fact that parents are now saying two things. And I just read a recent article that was in the Post, how more schools, and now it's just, I think it's certain states are banning cell phones in schools.
I heard
right?
that. Yes.
And I've been applauding this I've been a champion of this for so long, because one, I know I wasn't good at school. I wasn't. I didn't take to school very well because I was an outside kid.
You both.
Yeah, I wanted to be outside. I wanted to run.
Me
I wanted
too.
to jump. I wanted to do all those things. And
it was
sitting down
hard for you to concentrate because you wanted to do all that.
Right. On top of that. And so also, like most kids, when you feel like you're behind in the class as far as understanding what's going on in front of you, you get distracted and you kind of throw your attention elsewhere. For me, I just was like, well, if I don't know what's going on, I want to go play sports. I wasn't the type of kid to kind of disrupt the class. I wasn't that kid. I would just sit there and kind of just look or act like I knew what was going on and had no clue.
Well, Big Willie, I was one of them kids.
Well, I could see you being a disruptor. Yeah,
I had whoopee cushions, acting like I was Putin, had to go to the bathroom. Kids be laughing. The teacher, get your nasty ass out of here. But that was my way of getting in the hall, and I could walk past the doors, got done, and see all the girls got done, walking out.
Oh, so you had an end game. That's smart. Yeah, so you wasn't dumb. You just wanted to be around the women.
Yeah.
And so I like, so once again, I support the fact that schools are saying no to cell phones. Even though I was talking to my nephew yesterday, he stopped by and we were talking about him getting ready for another year of school, and I brought up the banning of the cell phones. He goes, that's not going to work. He said, kids really just go to school to hang out and sell drugs. He's like, the cell phones don't mean nothing. I said, what?
Dang, hold up, really?
That's what he said to me. And I was like, you don't think, he said, if kids don't want to learn, you can't force them to learn. And I thought that and I was like, I kind of pondered on that. And I was like, he's kind of right.
Yeah.
As much as you want to, shove it down a kid's throat and make them learn or add some structure or give him some type of knowledge on his way home each and every day. If a kid is not into it, it's hard to kind of bring him in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then on top of having cell phones and all that comes with it, a kid is definitely tapped out. So that's why I'm glad at least gives the administrators and the teachers a fighting chance once you leave the cell phones in the locker or at home, because now a kid has to engage, right? When there's a cell phone involved, the kid doesn't have to engage. He's locked in, or he can go around the corner and engage in something else. So now not having a cell phone forces the kid to have some type of engagement, and hopefully it's a positive engagement. And hopefully these kids are taken to it. I was also talking to my nephew about it. He goes, believe it or not, there's half the class that wants to do whatever they want to do, and then other kids get so bored, they just kind of end up taking notes and paying attention anyway. So it's starting to turn the corner a little bit. So I'm happy with the no bans. I'm happy school is slowly coming back around, because when school comes back around, football season is upon us. We talked about that. And on top of that, man, parents can have some leeway, right? You've been dealing with your kids for 2 or 3 months. Kids in school, now you have some breathing room. So it's a holiday for the parents.
And let's not leave out, Big Willie. When I used to go to school, we used to start down there doing Labor Day. Right now, children are starting school up in July right now. So, oh yeah. So got down there, the children are already up in school down here, probably been in school now about 2 weeks now. And we've never been to school there early. And I don't know if
get out early, right?
No, it used to be like that, but now is you start early, but you still get out in May like you used to do. So I guess they're trying to stop a lot of this crime going on, Big Willie, and figure if they get the kids up in school, it'll keep them out the street. And and then like you say about the cell phone, how can you learn when you up in your cell phone? Got done the teacher trying to teach anyway, and half of these kids right now, the kind of parents they're getting raised by, and they don't want you to say nothing to the children. Then you take the goddamn phone, then the parents got there acting bigger fool than the goddamn children about the goddamn phone. So it's really a big distraction in both ways, because now you got the child going crazy because you don't took the phone. Now that's another big commotion. Now I got the parent coming up there acting crazy. Now you got all this going on when the teacher supposed to be teaching, when all you got to do, like you say, just take the cell phones away. Don't let them get in there, and they ain't got nothing to worry about but learning.
Yeah, it's unfortunate what these teachers have to deal with. I always thought the phones was a big distraction. When I was in school, we had the two-way pagers and beepers and all that nonsense. Cell phones really didn't. People had cell phones, but it just it wasn't as popular as it is now, or a necessity as it is now. I do have to say this as far as the kids, kind of rejecting the whole premise of not having cell phones in schools. I'm like, if you actually give school a chance, like a lot of adults who realize they could have did better in school. That's one of their biggest regrets. And I've said this multiple times. One of my biggest regrets is not being a better student, because my years in the NFL, I spent at least 40% of my day in a classroom learning plays and writing down notes and studying. And that was half my day. I spent 2 to 3 hours on the field. The rest was in a classroom or working out. And I would like to say if I was a better student, I would have been a better player.
And I'm gonna tell you something, Big Willie. It's funny you mention that, because that just show you what you put your mind to and what you're interested in. You have no problem sitting down learning, because I was got done and sitting there in class, and if it's something in algebra or geometry or something, and I just couldn't get it, my mind just wouldn't register to just sit there to try to understand something I couldn't understand. And I couldn't get into it. And then I get distracted. Then I start doing other things. But when I'm on the football field or I'm in the football room and I'm learning plays, it's like my mind got done and just so tuned in because it was something I wanted to do. And I can make an A on top of A on top of A on top of A plus 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 on that, because that's what I was tuned into. Right. And it's just so, crazy how you could got done to be in tune to something that you want to do, and you got no problem learning it. And everybody else, it'll probably look like geometry or algebra to them. But to us, it's like that's natural. That's what we want to do, so we don't mind learning it. And we can figure it out right then and there with no problem, because we tuned in.
Right. I agree with you. I mean, it's the same for me.
Because you got to look at it. Look at you telling somebody about the X's and the O's. They going to be like, what the hell? A person don't play football be like, what you mean? X and the O. And we going to run a 32 die, got done 36 37. They don't know what the hell you talking about. What you mean 32? You going through the 2 hole. You going to go outside to the 6 hole. They don't understand. Don't matter if you say 42, 52, you still going to go through that too. But that's football language. But to them, they like, what the hell? That's how some of this shit was to us up in school.
Oh, I get it. Trust me. That was a good portion of my scholastic career. I do want to say this, though. For all the parents, this is a good opportunity to build a bridge. Meaning, if you know your child struggles in a particular subject, introduce yourself. Pamper that teacher. Show up with an apple or some flowers or cake. If you know your child sucks at science, find a science teacher and butter his ass up. Because at the end of the day, nobody's trying to send their child to summer school, and you know your child is already behind the 8 ball because he doesn't like science, thinks it's dumb, whatever. This is an opportunity where parents have to now work a little harder for the kids. I learned this lesson because when I was in high school, I had a parent. I didn't have a parent like I was a teacher, but I knew a parent. One of my homeboys in school, his mother would show up on the first day of school. When it was different Catholic school, because the first day of school, we used to all have to line up, the whole school, line up like a little military army in front of the school. And they would come around and they would point to you, meaning if they pointed to you, you were in violation of the conduct. Like either you had a bad shirt, pants were dirty, or you weren't cleanly shaven. Most guys weren't cleanly shaven. So they had to go into the dean's office and with these rusty ass clippers, and it was brutal. Like guys were getting cut up. It was patchy. It was ugly. Which forced guys to never go through that experience. So they actually went to their barber and got cleaned up and never had to deal with the dean of discipline again. Fast forward, there was this one lady, man, her son wasn't a good reader. And I think he's from Jamaica or whatever, but he had an accent. It was struggle with English. And this lady showed up to our English teacher's classroom, introduced herself like, I'm such and such's mother. You're going to have him in your class this year. If there are any problems, anything we can work on together, please contact me, and I would love to kind of be an assistant on top of whatever you're teaching in this class. This lady showed up with a damn cake, and she gave the teacher a cake. And the teacher, she appreciates, like, oh, thank you for the communication. Thank you for building this bridge. I'm pretty sure we'll work things out, yada, yada, yada. That kid was fucking horrible in English. Like, he wasn't good. And there was a lot of reasons for that. It wasn't because he was dumb. He just struggled because, he was from a different country, yada, yada, yada. Man, would I tell you that kid walked out of that class with a damn near B plus, an A? And I know he wasn't, like, doing extra work. He wasn't doing anything on top of, we were pretty much doing the same thing. Like, we both, I didn't struggle at English, but he was one of my he played on the football team with me. And I know he wasn't doing a goddamn thing. But that son of a bitch walked out of a B. And to this day, I believe it's because his mom showed up on the first day of school, buttered that teacher up, showed a lot of love, built the bridge, told her she was awesome, because teachers have egos too, gave her everything she needed to hear. And that teacher, when it came down to the final grade, she was like, boop, 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 let him go.
And that's what happened to me, Big Willie. I told the teacher, I ain't gonna lie, my 11 and 12th grade year, I just knew. I was like, man, this was hard. Here, everybody talking about this one here. Man, I went up to that woman. I told her, look here, I just want to let you know I really appreciate what you've been doing. I said, it take a lot for you to come in here and do what you do, and I really appreciate that. Now, I don't care what they say. I think you're one of the best teachers a person can ever ask for. And, we just got to do what we got to do in order to learn, and I just want to let you know I appreciate you for that. Boy, she said, oh, my goodness, Mr. JJ, that is just so nice of you. Thank you so much. And just like she just melted, Big Willie. Me and my partner was sitting in the classroom. We were doing the same damn thing. Making the same damn grades. Every time their report card come out, I have a C, he have a D or F. He said, see? My partner's like, what the hell? He said, how the hell you getting these goddamn grades, goddamn? He said, hell, I made goddamn a higher grade than you last week. I said, besides, I know what I'm doing. I ain't telling my recipe, Big Willie. I wasn't gonna let him steal what I got there to say.
JJ, I'm telling you, I watched this lady butter this teacher up.
Yes,
and
sir.
And that kid wasn't doing a goddamn thing in that class. He walked out of there with a B plus, and I walked out of there with like a B.
Yeah.
But I was doing my work. English wasn't hard for me, and I understood why it was hard for him. But that mom got him that B plus. Like,
yes,
there's no way you can convince me, because every time it was parent teacher time, they were all, they would laugh, they were hugging, and the kid would he would just stand there like whatever, like I don't care. And I'd be like, man, when I saw his report card, I'm like, your mama got you that B plus. Straight up. So, all right, we're gonna take a quick break. Come on back. Why Willie Podcast Show. Welcome on back to the Why Willie Podcast Show. Once again, thank you for everybody that watches, listens, and subscribes. We are moving and turning, trying to make this thing better. I can't do it without the great Brittany Smith, our producer, and obviously JJ is alongside of me doing the damn thing. JJ, it's time for Hot Topics, and I got one for you. Are you ready?
Yes. Come on, Big Will. I'm like a fly guy down there.
Me and you have been on a soapbox for so long because not only are we faithful husbands, we love our wives,
yes.
but we time after time beat the drum on things that we want more within our relationship. One of the things I know me and you agree on is more sex, more time with our wives, being naked in the same bed and enjoying each other, right? We're looking. Oh, there. See, that's pretty graphic. That's we got JJ drinking the mic, ladies and gentlemen. With all that said, Jay, something came across the desk, if you will, and there may be a reason why our wives may have low sex drives outside of the menopause world. Are you ready for it?
Candy. They eat too much candy.
Candy is not it.
Hold up. I get one more guess. One more guess. If it ain't candy, too much bread.
Too much bread, the man says. No, JJ, it's not too much bread.
That make them lazy.
What'd you say?
That make them lazy. Eating too much bread.
JJ, well, they believe if your wife is an avid coffee drinker, they believe that may be killing her sex drive. Coffee? It says women's hormone expert, there's some doctor's name I failed to enunciate right at the moment, explains why the thing keeping you from getting down in the sheets could be the very thing getting you out of the sheets in the morning, and that's your coffee. JJ, I'm not surprised. I kind of agree with it.
That's
well, let's
caffeine.
See what they have to say. It goes, adrenal glands are what regulate hormones like cortisol and DHEA. DHEA is the mother of hormone for testosterone, JJ. It says, and when that goes down, pretty much, the sexual desire drops as well. And that's a response to what's in coffee. And so this is crazy, Jay. I never thought coffee would be the one to kind of suppress the sexual desire, because like the article states, is that, we use coffee as a picker upper. Like it's supposed to get you going and get you ready for the day. And this is what the doctor says. What happens with that morning cup of coffee is that you end up disrupting your blood sugar all day, JJ. Oh, wow. As a result, your adrenals starts to underperform. And then you get too much cortisol and not enough DHEA. So that's the scientific reason why people believe coffee is the reason why these wives are saying no to the husbands. One of the reasons. And JJ, it kind of makes, my wife is not an avid coffee drinker. I actually drink more coffee than my wife. So this necessarily doesn't adhere to me, but I can understand why some women who I've dated women, I've been around women. My mother was an avid coffee drinker. She drank coffee. She used to have at least 4 or 5 cups of coffee a day. She went to bed with coffee. I mean, she would, and you know how hot it is in Mississippi right now. If it was 95 degrees, she would drink a cup of coffee and be like, "Oh, it's cooling me off." And I'm like, "You're out of your mind, lady. Like you got a hot cup of coffee, and you're talking about it cools you down." My aunt was the same way. So for all you ladies who love their coffee in the morning and having trouble to connect with your man in the bedroom, the coffee may be the problem, JJ. So we're starting to get to the root of this thing.
Did your dad always seem angry?
Well, he stepped outside the house, so it didn't matter. He was gonna get his regardless.
I got you.
Yeah. But I feel bad. Because for a lot of men, and you see it, especially if you're on social media and you have all these wacky relationship podcast shows, and there's always a man or 2 or 3 complaining how my wife is a great mother, she's an awesome friend to me, we have a great home, but the one thing lacking is the bedroom. And believe it or not, JJ, more women who are out and about, who are single looking for a man, they're willing to take that risk. They're willing to grab that man because he knows the flesh is a hard thing to kind of suppress. When that flesh wants to eat, it wants to eat.
Yes.
And there's a lot of men who, that's why they say a man walking around with this thing right here is an attractive man to a single woman, because they know he provides structure. And yeah, there may be other things that come along with him, but 8 out of 10 times his needs ain't being met.
Yeah.
And so to keep a roof over her head and the things she's willing to satisfy the sexual desires. And so for all you women out there who feel like, hey, I'm struggling to connect, and maybe be a multitude of reasons why you're not being able to connect with your husband. So I don't want to solely blame it on coffee, but this is something you may want to look at. Yeah. And me and JJ are just trying to supply you with something that, hey, how much coffee am I digesting during the day? And do I honestly think this is affecting my sexual desires towards my husband? Something to think about, Jay. That's all we're telling the people.
Exactly. I'm Big Willie. You think I could take that coffee from So Gucci? Because she got to have a coffee. She going to get up in the morning. She going to drink her lemon water. Then she going to go back up in there. She going to get a cup of coffee. Then goddamn, if it's good enough and she feeling good, she going to get another cup of coffee. Then goddamn, through the middle of the day, if we riding by Starbucks, she want to get a caramel macchiato. And then she want to get a grande or a venti at that, not a tall, which is a small. I had to learn the different languages of coffee. And I didn't know what the hell a grande tall of venti was, goddamn it, till I got around her. Now she don't got so goddamn cool with it that she got to goddamn pull out a list on her phone where she asks for some type of coffee. Give me 3 splashes of this in it, 2 goddamn splashes of that in it, another teaspoon of this up in it, and I say, what the? I said, man, who the hell come up with all this goddamn just for a cup of coffee? Where the hell goddamn just a regular cup of coffee come in at, Big Willie? I mean, I don't understand. This is just too much. They getting outrageous with everything they want in cup of coffee, Big Willie. When coffee is just coffee.
I think, JJ, you may be honest. You may have to When you swing by Starbucks, you may have to be like, hey, man, instead of that what do they call it, that grande or that whatever the tall one, the venti is, we may have to go grande. You may have to start downsizing her coffee.
That's too
so
tall.
You get your needs met, JJ.
That's to a tall smile. I'm just gonna take it all away, Bill. We might have a few arguments and fights, Big Willie. You might ask your wife, "What's going on with Gucci and JJ?" You know it's because I'm trying to take the coffee away, Big Willie. But maybe we can make up at the end.
There you go. At least you go in with a game plan.
Exactly.
We'll
fight at the beginning.
Woman's hand.
Yeah, we'll fight at the beginning, argue, cuss each other out. Then maybe a week or two from now, everything just come together as planned.
Best of luck to you. That's all I can tell you. Best of luck to you. But yes, I just wanted to throw something at all the women out there. Once again, if you're failing to connect and you're an avid coffee drinker, this may be hurting you. So you may want to pull back from the caffeine. They now have B12 shots. You can, like those hand sanitizer dispenser things. Well, you can buy them in like the container B12 shot. So you just get a little shot of it in the morning and get going. So it's just an alternative, but connect with your men, women out there.
And I just want to say to you women, remember one thing for the Why Willie Show and JJ. If you don't remember nothing else, protein is always better than caffeine.
I agree. There you go. Listen to JJ. Don't be stupid.
Yes,
moving along, it's time for Hot Topics. We got a new topic, and this is called Britt's bullshit meter.
It's called Britt's BS meter because my initials are Brittany Smith. Get it? Yeah.
Okay. BS. I was thinking it was something else. Bullshit or something.
Yo, good. So play on both. BS meter. You'll let me know how much you believe these stories are the people in these stories are bullshitting or BSing. All right.
Okay.
All right. So I'll play the audio for this video. The first story we have up. So David Justice, he's former MLB player.
Hall of Famer. Yeah, he won with the Braves. And he played with the A's for a little bit too.
And in around his peak, which was around like between 93 and 96, he was also married to Halle Berry. He recently got on a podcast. I believe it was it All the Smoke? Yes, it was All the podcast. And he talked about actually his split with Halle Berry and kind of explains why that relationship ended up falling apart. I'm going to play the video for you.
It really wasn't a lot of negative attention until I decided to leave her in 1996. I remember Halle saying to me, hey, she asked me to marry her after knowing me for 5 months. So I'm looking at my mom, and I'm a Midwest guy. So in my mind, I'm thinking a wife at that time should cook, clean.
Traditional.
And then I'm thinking, okay, if we have kids, is this the woman I want to have kids with and build a family with? And at that time, as a young guy, she don't cook, don't clean, don't really seem like motherly. And then we start having issues.
So that's the clip that kind of went viral. In addition, he goes into saying maybe if they had therapy, they could have worked it out. If therapy more was a thing, and also said part of the reason was of her busy schedule. So, do you call BS on David Justice's explanation, or what do you think about it?
So they were together from 93 to 97. And during the time they were together, they were probably the hottest couple in all of sports. Very much how we view Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift. They were the it couple. I don't know if there's ever been an it couple like them in Major League Baseball. On top of that, I agree with him. He can't, as he explained himself, all I could do was lean back to in reference to what a wife was and what a mother was. All I could do was lean on what my mother did in our home and what she represented. That was his source. With all that said, he did say they were, she proposed to him pretty much 5 or 6 months after they pretty much said they were boyfriend and girlfriend. And they were kind of going through the honeymoon phase. With the honeymoon phase, she fell head over heels for David Justice. David Justice was a superstar, not just an all-star, but a superstar. And he was a 90s heartthrob for a lot of women. Halle Berry as well. The only issue was David Justice made a lot of money in his career, and Hallie at the time didn't have a lot of money, right? She had the machine behind her, and that's where he goes on to talk about, I didn't know anything about prenups, da-da-da-da-da-da. All I knew was I was taking care of the home in L.A. I was taking care of the homes over here. I was kind of taking care of our lifestyle, and she was doing her thing and kind of building her career up. He eventually felt like, hey, I don't know if this is working for us or working for me. I want to step out. And Hallie was like, where you going, boy? Come here. Bring that ass over here. And what's even worse, the reason why I feel bad for David Justice, is because for 20 years, there was this dark cloud around him and his career that he abused Halle Berry. And it took up until 2015 in the interview she did where she openly admitted that it never happened, that he never put her hands on. Halle took damn near 20 years to admit to the public that he never abused her, because that was always the thing about David Justice. He was a great ball player, but he abused Halle Berry. He even said in the interview how he would go to different stadiums and speak to different people, and people would just throw heckle at him about, hey, you better hit the ball as hard as you hit Halle Berry. Like, that kills a dude. You know what I mean? So I'm Team Justice in this one, because I think Halle played him.
I'm gonna be honest with you. A person know what they get with, goddamn it, when they get with them. You know it, all the ins and outs. 5 months, goddamn it. You know if a woman gonna cook clean, goddamn it, or if y'all gonna get takeouts, goddamn it, or whatever the situation gonna be. So to be honest with you, it ain't no guy. Is you goddamn it getting married because of the hype, and you know she's a sexy, foxy woman, and you got the hottest goddamn girl up in the industry during the time, and then all of a sudden years later, goddamn it, here it is. You got down and want to come up with what she didn't do and why she didn't do it, and you want to kill. You weren't thinking about that at the time. You was knocking them out the goddamn park, and you would call yourself knocking her out the park too. Goddamn, you were doing what you did, and then years later, goddamn, you want to talk about this. 9 times out of 10, if a woman that big up in the industry, goddamn, doing what she doing, making a name for herself, she ain't got time to cook, she ain't got time to clean, she ain't got time to do none of that, because she got the money, goddamn it, to have somebody to come over there and do all that for. And as a young man during my time like that, first thing I would be sitting there saying, damn, she got a maid. Boy, we got it going on. I ain't be sitting there talking about, I want her up in the kitchen doing this cooking and cleaning, because we too busy in the spotlight. So it's bullshit.
Oh, JJ defending Halle Berry.
It's bullshit. Because, you know, if you looking for that, you going to go with what you looking for. And at that time, he might be looking for that now, but back then, he wasn't doing nothing but trying to knock balls out the park, including her.
Right.
Well, so
she wasn't.
Go ahead,
she wasn't the super like huge Halle Berry by then, like legend.
Oh yeah, she was. She was on Boomerang.
But she was acting. I agree with you. She was still acting, starting to get her career started. And
yes,
especially like a woman at that time, like if you're starting to get movies, you got to keep the ball rolling and got to keep getting in movies. So of course she's going to be focusing on her career. So I agree. He should have known, like, what is he going to expect when you're dating this person who's like their star is rising and they got to be everywhere and they're an actor. It sounds like he couldn't handle that and wanted her to settle down. But that's what he wasn't going to, not settle down, but be a woman that she couldn't be for him, and he had to learn that the hard way.
And then you got to think about this too. It's like what you said, Britt. It's like he was trying to change her and make her who he wanted her to be, and that wasn't what she was trying to do. It's like,
no, I don't think he was trying to change her. I think he was like once again he was trying to replicate what he came from. Like you said, I came from the Midwest. I came from a traditional household. I'm only going off what my mother saw. She wanted to marry me, and I said, okay. And he admitted the reason I accepted the marriage because I didn't want to break her heart. And you know how it is, JJ.
Exactly.
When you're dating a hot girl, and even though I've dated girls who I know for a fact, I'm fucking with her because she's hot and popular.
Yeah,
right?
That's what he did.
But necessarily we don't connect on a lot of things, but I'm dealing with it. Mm-hmm. That's what it sounds like he was dealing with. Like, she's hot, she's popular. People are talking about us. We're the it couple. It's a publicity win for both of us. Mm-hmm. Now, he should have had more stones and been like, hey, I think we're moving too fast. We've only known each other for 6 months. I totally agree with that. But I don't fault him for at least tapping into a source that was his reality at one point with his own parents. So even though I agree with you saying like, hey, you you knew if this woman was what you wanted out the door. But that doesn't mean she can't grow into that role either. He was taking a chance on her just like she took a chance on him.
But you can have a conversation too. Okay, you want to marry me, but it's some things I like that you don't do. My mama was in here. She always cooked. She always cleaned. She always had a point of view. If we have children, we get married. Are you that type of woman to do that? What changes are you willing to make? But see, you never had that. All you was got done doing is just being excited. You saying you don't want to break a heart, but that's stuff you need to got done to ask when you're getting in a relationship. I was just listening to something on a preacher on social media the other day, and the first thing he said is that one of the realest, truest things I ever heard is, when you looking for a wife, stop just looking for a wife and look for a mom. He say, when you looking for a wife, you looking at everything, how she look, her nails, how she got her eyelash, her boobs, her butt, her figure. You looking for everything that you want in a wife, but you ain't looking for what you want in a mama. And then when it's time, when you get the wife, you want her to be that mama, but that when what you got done was looking for when you were trying to get a goddamn wife. In the beginning, if you had been looking for a mama, when she had these children, then you would have had a wife along with a mama that's bringing up these kids, so these kids won't be the way they is, where she can raise them. And that way, when she out in them streets, you ain't got to worry about sitting there fixing biscuits. When she got done, it should be fixing biscuits. She don't want to fix biscuits because she don't want to get her nails dirty.
I mean, I hear you, but Britt, maybe you can attest. You probably can't attest this. I want to keep you out of this, but we know women will play a role until they get across the goal line.
Exactly.
Like, I've seen it. A woman will play the roles you want them to play once you put a ring on it, so provide a home and all this other stuff, then their true side comes out. Mm-hmm. And sometimes it's too late for guys to recognize or see who that true person is behind the curtain. I do agree with you from looking at a mom standpoint. One of the things my dad taught me, he didn't teach me a lot, but he taught me a couple things. And one of the things he taught me was, hey, one of the reasons, he would say this about my mom. He would say, one of the reasons I love your mother, because if anything ever happened to me, meaning himself, he would say, I know your mother could run a house and uphold the house, and you guys are going to you guys are going to be on a straight and narrow. And that's solely because her competency in the home. So I get that. But on the other side, I've known women who will play the role until they get the ring. And once they get the ring and their name is on the papers, they're like, well, shit, I ain't doing that dumb shit no more. We just going to have to find and get it made. I ain't cooking all the time. I want to go and pursue my dreams now. Because there's a sense of security, right? When the security is gone, they kind of had to do those things to, one, to attract the man, on two, make a living for themselves. Once the man steps up into the forefront, and now he's the provider, he's the face of the family, and on, she's like, all right, well, your ass is on the line now. I got you your paper, your name's on the house, your name's on the bank account, her name's on the bank account, the house, and all this stuff. So now she makes, her. Like Scooby-Doo, like the whole mask comes off. Like, that's you, Mr. Kingsley, or whatever they used to say. So it goes both ways.
So, it can go both ways. Guys can hide who they are, too. But, I mean... I
agree.
I do understand, like, it was 5 months. Like, you can learn a lot about a person, but there's, things you could probably attest. There's still things you're probably learning about your partner that, like, even though you've been together for so long, there's things you learn every day. So, I'm sure the fast, young... love also attributed to it. And
so you're team Holly. So you're team Holly and JJ's team Holly, and I'm team David
If you
Justice.
ain't in there cooking biscuits got done and then grits got done and then eggs in the morning time and hooking me something up at night, I already know got done from the beginning you ain't no damn cooker. So to make a long story short, fellas, like that preacher said, stop looking for a wife and look for a mom, and that way you'll have both.
There's so many women that hate you saying that, because I know for a fact Keisha would be like, I ain't your motherfucking mama. You got a mama.
No, they ain't talking about a mom like in your mama. They talking about looking at a mom as to raising a child. If you look at a mom if you look at a woman and you say, that's the one I want to be the mom of my child because I like the things that she do more than just the way that she look, then everything else will fall in place. But if you're not looking in that perspective and you just looking at the way she look and you ain't worried about how it's going to be when she have your child, that's when the conflict come in.
I get it. What you got, Britt? What's next?
And then I will say with the not denying the abuse stuff, it did say that like she had their divorce was like not great, and she ended up getting a restraining order against him. So even though he didn't, I think he wasn't the one that like caused the injury she had. There could have been another reason why she didn't go out and say something to feel like she needed to defend him. Like, you weren't the one who did this, thing that people are saying that you did, but maybe something else, went on that, she's like, I mean, I don't want to defend his ass. Why should I? So that, she could have said something, but she chose not to. So there's clearly some, still some like bad blood over there for some reason. So
all I know,
now, the next question, Big Willie. You think she gonna actually speak out on this now that he don't say something?
Hell
no. Well, she's in a relationship with a singer and writer. His name is Van Hunt. And he, by the way, he proposed to her, and she said yes. She didn't say no, but she didn't say yes. It's kind of lingering over their relationship, but they've been seen out together a lot.
Next one for the BS meter. Travis Kelce recently been in the news for a bunch of stuff. His girlfriend is super mega star Taylor Swift, and she was on his podcast and kind of did her whole album reveal on there. So they've been getting a lot of buzz for that. And then he recently did a giant, September GQ spread, like magazine spread, where they did a long form interview. And one of the clips, one of the sections in the interview that's kind of going around is him admitting that he might have gotten a little bit distracted. He might have gotten a little bit distracted because of his, his off the field stuff. So the quote was, winning a Super Bowl is the only goal. It's the only goal. It's every goal. I think I might have slipped up a little bit because I did have a little more focus in trying to set myself up, and opportunities came up where I was excited to venture into a new world of acting and becoming an entertainer. My work ethic is such that I have so much pride in how I do things that I never want the product to tail off. But I feel like these past 2 years haven't been to my standard. So essentially saying maybe the past 2 years, in his football career hasn't been up to snuff because he was, a little bit doing a lot of side stuff with acting, cameos in movies and shows and entertainment. So my thing is, BS or not? Because, he also is a 35-year-old tight end. He is getting up there in age. Do you believe the past 2 years where his career is kind of, taking a little dip has been due to distractions, or do you think it's just, naturally because of, we're Asian?
Well, I'm gonna jump out there. I do believe it's because of distractions. I mean, he's dated. I mean, all his relationships have been public, and on top of that, I mean, when him and Taylor Swift got together, it was every Sunday. It was a Taylor Swift sighting. It was about him. It was nauseating to some point, to a lot of points. Also, I'm gonna be honest, man. With Taylor Swift came a lot of publicity and a lot of hype, and he started to get a lot of opportunities. With that, the man did kind of taper off, like he wasn't himself. But I do think because his mind and brain and body was in other places. And on top of that, sometimes winning gets boring. The Chiefs have been kicking a lot of ass. And being a guy who played for the Steelers where you just assume you're going to win because you're the better team, you kind of get bored, even though you got to work and do all the other stuff. But sometimes you become such a machine, you just kind of go on autopilot. So I do think he was kind of distracted from him being a great tight end. Listen, he's going into the Hall of Fame. His numbers are ridiculous. He is, I think, the fifth best tight end to ever play the position. With all that said, man, only ball players truly know if they're totally engaged, if they're totally brought in or not. So for him to have that kind of self-awareness, I believe him. So I don't call bullshit on that.
Yeah. Well, I'm just going to say one thing, Big Willie. That under yonder boy, bad mother effer.
Who's that?
Under yonder.
Who's that? What's that?
That under yonder, that fur burger.
Are you talking like the vagina judge?
Yeah, that's what got him distracted right there. Got that old young goddamn under yonder goddamn. You on the field, you at practice. You can't wait to get home to it. Big old star. Every time they look up, they showing you on TV like you the chief mascot or something. Goddamn, like you the biggest thing ever happened. Goddamn in KC, and all of a sudden you on the field, and then you make a big play. Soon as you make a big play, goddamn, she jumping up in the stands and going crazy, and the media showing the goddamn, and all you can think about, baby, yeah, you see what I did? I can't wait to get home and celebrate and get some of that under yonder tonight. And that's what got him right there, Big Willie.
The under yellow. I've
Under
never heard
yonder.
it.
Under yonder. The under yonder. Yeah.
Okay.
The under yonder.
The under yonder.
Yeah.
I can't keep up. I can't.
Britt, you like that, don't you, Britt?
Under yonder to fur burger. There's something about that I do not.
Now, if you don't shave, it's the fur burger. But if you shave, it's the under yonder.
Fur burger is a hell of a description.
So next time, Big Willie, you put something on the menu at your restaurant, you got to put on the menu fur burger. Make that one of your specials.
I don't want to have to explain that to anybody. Like, hey, why did you name it the fur burger? I don't ever want to have to explain that. Britt, what do you think? Do you call BS?
A little bit, because I don't think he also wants to admit that he is also getting just physically tired. I mean, the retirement's been thrown out a bit like the past few years, and people have been wondering like if last year was going to be, people were probably thinking last year was going to be his final year if they won the Super Bowl, and that they didn't, he's going to do another year. So I think he probably did get distracted. I mean, you can't help but get distracted when you're dating a superstar and you're in that world. Like, there's distractions abound. But I also think it is a little bit about him kind of, on the decline, because, he was such a good player for so long. Tight end, he's getting banged around a lot. It's only natural around, his age right now that, his production might be declining. So I think I'll call a little BS.
All right. We appreciate it. We're going to take a quick closeout. Come on back. Why Willie Podcast Show. Welcome on back to the Wild Willie Podcast Show. Before we close it out, JJ, Britt has a question to ask you.
Okay.
What you got, Britt?
JJ, a little new segment called JJ's Jams, because we know every time you've hopped on FaceTime in the car or something, it's you singing, music blasting. So we just want to know lately, what have you been blasting? What have you been belting in the car?
Man, let me tell you something. Ain't nothing like getting the morning started or getting off, Big Willie, and listening to some Cheryl Lynn Encore. Do y'all know anything about that? Man, let me tell you, boy, that way that music come on, man, and that beat, it just hype you. You could be sleeping. And boy, you put that goddamn song on, your love, good love is a encore. Boy, your love is like an encore. Boy, I mean, it just don't get no better than that. And the beat how it come in. Matter of fact, Big Willie, they even got a line dance got done it with that, Big Willie. You got to learn that. Yeah, the line dance with got done it encore. And it's on point too. I looked at it and say, ooh, I said, I learned that right there. I even sent it to my daughter.
Going on this summer. It's been the year of line
You can't learn them all. As a matter of fact, Big Willie, talking about encore, I got done it. Me and my daughter just did the Chris Brown dance that they got. Big Willie got done it. And Big Willie, we don't went viral right now in less than 24 hours. I think I got 2.6 million on Instagram and like 1.8 million or something like that up on TikTok. So we went viral. And my daughter told me, they were like, Dad, do you know even the ones that started, you got you number one. You got the most out of everybody. So Big Willie, I still got it in me. Big Willie, I'm got there doing the thing, Big Willie.
You start, JJ. That's why you're on the podcast.
Big Willie, you got to do it now, Big Willie. Challenge is on you now. You got to do it, Big Willie.
What do you mean?
The Chris Brown. Gucci told me she wanted to go to
Chris Brown. You want me to do all that gyrating and all that twisting and turning you was doing with your daughters?
Yeah, Gucci said she wanted to go see Chris Brown. And I told her, hey, you got Chris Brown right here. Why you got to go see goddamn Chris Brown when I can give you Chris Brown right here? And from the fans' point of view, Big Willie, I was right.
I mean, the people like it. The people love it. People like it. So,
and then
I would do it.
And then on top of that, we had the all white part of this past weekend. You know, the
all white at midnight.
Ooh, man, it was off the chain. Gucci's son DJ Two-Way rocked the house. Man, everybody in there was talking about how got done it. Who is that DJ? Who is that DJ? Man, when I tell you he came with it, man, people was up dancing. Me and Gucci were doing our thing, man. Our table was jamming so hard, everybody was saying we want to sit at y'all table next year. So Big Willie, this weekend was a great weekend. But far as got done his songs, that encore, that you can't beat that right there, encore.
Now, how long did it take you to get this?
Big Willie, it's just natural in me. You show it to me about 2 or 3 times. I got done it. So, I'm very coordinated. I always said that's where daddy babies get it from. So got done it. Once I got done to get started and got done it, boy, that cute dog started coming out me at the end. You ain't see me lick that tongue? I was like,
no, I didn't see that.
You didn't see that at the end, Big Willie? You got to look at the end.
Once I saw you,
I gave it that. I started feeling it, Big Willie.
Yeah, once I saw you kind of popping them hips, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna turn this off.
Big Willie, you gotta check the ending out. The ending worked out. Matter of fact, even on one of my pages got done, they paused it with the tongue out. Big Willie got done because I was into it. Big Willie, they were like, God dang, got done. JJ got done. Big Willie ain't lost now. Watch that ending, Big Willie. Watch the ending when I get into it. Big Willie. Watch it, Big Willie. There it is, Big Willie. There it is, Big Willie. Watch it.
Oh Lord. You looking at the camera and everything. I mean, you committed to it. You committed.
Yes, sir.
Well, you do it.
Yes, sir.
Well, Britt is going to do. She's going to do another picking, if you will. She threw her no-watch movie she hasn't seen in the bag. So if she picks one of them, we have to watch, just like we watched To Kill a Mockingbird. So Britt, do the picking.
Got it. Well, the hat fell. So all right. In the Mood for Love. JJ, have you seen it?
I don't think so. What's that about?
You put this on your list, Willie, so I don't know why you're making a face.
I know. I haven't seen it. That's why I put it on the list.
That sounds interesting and kinky, though. I like it.
Britt, have you seen it?
I have not seen it.
We got a winner.
So this is one.
In the
this
Mood
is the one
for
we're watching.
Love.
This is the one we're watching.
In the Mood for Love.
Now they got my undivided attention.
All right, JJ. You got your homework assignment. We all have it.
Got it.
All come back with a report. Let's do it. Well, that's it for me. I'm heading to Atlanta to move my niece in, and then I'll be in Jackson, Mississippi for my beautiful wife's birthday. It is Leo season.
Yes.
So looking forward to that, and I'll be sharing, celebrating with JJ and all the good folks we know down there and love down there. So we're going to have fun doing that. And with all that said, we got to give a special thanks to our lovely producer, Brittany Smith. Can't do it without her. Champion her.
Yeah.
Also, I'm Willie Cologne, and he is
JJ, baby, and we'll see you next week.
Peace.